Hi guys, welcome back. Bitcoin is going slightly back to the upside, but I'm telling you right now, this is a massive bull trap. I will show you the most likely scenario, while I still believe that we need to head a little bit lower before we go higher, and also the unlikely case if we would go first actually higher and then fall way lower. Don't miss out on that, and let's do some live trading. Hi guys, welcome back. Let me put the music back on because last time you liked that so much. Let me quick know in the chat if that's loud enough or if I should like tune it down a notch, so because I don't hear it. I checked it last time myself and I thought it was okay, so it's better if you guys tell me. So in the meantime, because there's such a delay between me talking and seeing then the reaction in the chat, let's talk about really quickly where Bitcoin is standing here on the Sunday with a weekly close just around the corner. So right now, Bitcoin is retesting this multi-month or basically multi-year bull trend that we were on. And every single bear market, of course, every single bear market, we tend to either come exactly down to that line and retest it or briefly get below it. Like here in 2020 with the COVID crash, that was obviously why that happened. And then here in 2022, we just came down there and consolidated a little bit, which scared a lot of people for a potential break below that. But this time we actually broke below that line. And now we are retesting this for the first time, technically, since this point here, where we were still above this. And that was in March this year. So basically for 5 months, we did not really retest that level after we broke down from it. And therefore, I don't believe that now with this weekly candle and the following weekly candle, we go straight above this. So it doesn't mean that we need to fall to $70,000. Let me see. What is this? So doesn't mean that we go to $70,000 now. But this is a massive resistance right now for Bitcoin that we need to get over to continue to move upwards. It will happen in the upcoming weeks, no doubt about that. But I have my doubts that this might already be happening next week. It can, but for me, in the best case scenario for next week would be that we get here a small indecision candle with a wick to the upside, a wick to the downside, and then here like a small body. And then continuation candle like this. So of course, don't take now the exact measurement of the price for this. It's just for visual purposes that we kind of go up here. So and this is like what I see right now on the weekly chart for Bitcoin happening. So that means we come a little bit lower, then go up, form here that body, wick here a little bit above this, come back down, trade here then in that small area over the whole week. And that is also good for all indicators cooling down and the momentum too. And when then everything is reset over the upcoming week, then you get that push into the following week. Here on this weekly chart, the falling wedge has obviously broken out. I don't see us coming back down and saying later on this was just a fake out, that breakout. I don't see this anymore, that this might turn into a fake out because the candle is just too big. The candle is too big to now go back down basically 20% to invalidate this whole move. Highly unlikely. The whole market structure changed with that breakout, and therefore we might just come back down here to the next major level of support, which is currently between $72,000 and $73,000 on the weekly chart. And then we're gonna get continuation, and I'm gonna show you this a little bit in more detail on another chart here just in a second. The bear market trend, downwards trend line here was obviously also broken, but there's one other level to confirm to 100% that we are back now in a full-fledged bull market, and this is here, this level. There's like a small pocket here, that zone. I have no doubt that Bitcoin will go to $180,000, but not tomorrow, So this is like the end of bull market kind of target, you know. And if you watch this channel for a long time, I called actually $180,000 already in the last bull market for this bull market. So I said the next bull market, 180 to 250 is my personal target. And if it goes really crazy, it could be even 320. But like my bear case for next, basically for the upcoming bull market now is 180. So I was not wrong about that. Go watch the videos. And I'm sure here are some people that can confirm that I actually said this a while back. So I did not say this for a couple of months. So that I know too. And guys, because it's Sunday fun day, so I have a little bit of gin. Enjoy yourself. Because I'm gonna be here a little bit today again. I plan like 2 hours, you know, maybe a little bit longer. It depends on how much we get covered and how I also gonna feel about this. Because last time we actually also did way longer than I actually intended to. So let's see how this time will go on this live stream. Here on the daily chart, we are also still here in this massive, oh sorry, I need to finish that pocket area. So here, that pocket area, 80, no, this is too high because we're here on a weekly chart. So if I put this on a daily chart, I think then we can see it's a little bit better. Yeah, there. So here, 80,600. If you want to be really, really short, it would be like $84,000. Then we need to get over with, but I think there's a wick a little bit lower. Yeah, there, that wick is what I was looking for, $83,500. So there's like a $3,000 range, just above $80,000 that we need to break to confirm that we are 100% back in like a full-fledged bull market. So we are on a good way there. You know, we are definitely paving right now the way to go up there. But as you can see, for now, we are getting rejected from there. So which is fine, you know, it's like a massive, massive resistance, and some consolidation below that is healthy, especially if it's like kinda in a bull flag, you know, if that happens like to be a bull flag or like a bullish pennant and then gets like the move above this, you know, comes back down, confirms this as support here in that range and then breaks higher, there would be a picture perfect and textbook example how you want this to be unfolding for us. So when we're looking then here on the daily chart, this red resistance area that I had marked out here exactly to $79,500, where the price actually also went to, is still acting as resistance. And also here on the Fibonacci retracement levels, you get quite a good idea what might be the pullback level that Bitcoin still needs to experience. So I also want to show you here in a second why Bitcoin today actually went up after that small drop that we saw and why Bitcoin is holding up so well right now. So I can tell you this is only short-lived. The bigger drop that I'm expecting is still happening, but it could be a gradual slow grind down in this upcoming week. So and the target that I'm looking for is here somewhere around $73,000, the same that I also mentioned yesterday. Yeah, pros guys. And that has not changed. So do I open for this now new short positions to try to catch this? No, absolutely not. You know, so because I still have one running and I'm like underwater on this, I'm looking for longs here at this level. So I rather sit on my hands and be patient. And also lesson in this, guys, I have preached this for so many years and then I went against it myself because I thought I can catch like a small short, you know, and then I ended up on the wrong side of the stick. Never short in a bull market, you know, so it's still manageable, you know, the position that I have that short. And I have also like basically a cutting level where I'm gonna cut it and take the loss, you know, so and then walk away with the loss and then make it up on the long positions again. Never short in a bull market, guys. I will never do this again. And when I get out of this short, that's it. You know, I'm not shorting short term again anymore on in an uptrend here. I don't think so. Unless Trump is coming out with some crazy announcement again. There is something happening. There's in 3 weeks, there's the Clarity Act, you know, so that is the only thing that I can think of now. And then in September is also again an FOMC meeting where they decide if they're gonna hike, cut, or leave the rates as it is. So here on this daily chart, see at the same level. But here we are getting now a golden cross by Tuesday, regardless of what the price does, you know, so to now on the 50 and the 100 moving average to avoid a golden cross, something absolutely insane needs to happen for that, you know, so the price basically has to come back down, break below the 200 here, which is here in red, and come down here to this support level to avoid that by Tuesday. Let me get rid of this here again. So here, the blue line, the 50, and here in purple, the the 100, that they not make a golden cross by Monday, Tuesday. And this has to happen before that, you know, so I think we can rule this out, that this is gonna happen, you know, that now here, basically a $10,000 drop is happening so that we don't get that golden cross. So and then later, in early September, even if we not keep that kind of trajectory and we kind of go up like that, you see here in the first week of September, we are getting the golden cross for Bitcoin. So and here's like two things that can unfold until then. So because this is like 10 days away, is it? It's like, yeah, it's 10 days kind of away. Either Bitcoin comes down first into this green area here and closer to the 200, or it goes one more time up here, a little bit higher than the previous high here, but this is then the trap that I'm talking about in this massive fake out, then rolls over, then comes down and comes way, way closer to the 200 because the 200 might be somewhere here, you know, so then it comes maybe all the way down here, the price action, and then goes back up like that based off that golden cross on the 50 and the 200 moving average. So now on the 4-hourly chart, you see here our Elliott wave count has perfectly played out, just that the 4 got a little bit more extended, basically the 4 got more extended than what I originally anticipated, and the 5 also like completely blew it out of the water. You know, there's a massive 5th wave extension that happened here, which is of course good, but after that, when you have like a 5 Elliott wave count, you have an ABC correction. So and we are right now in that ABC correction. The only thing that you don't know is how low the A goes, but you can get quite a good idea about this. So and here, the idea for me is golden ratio down here. Here from that top. So let me actually make this a little bit more distinctive with, can I not, no, I cannot make a dashed line for this, I think. No, okay, then just a different color. So here's somewhere golden ratio, that is a good level where we could end up with before we get then here into B, which is then another wave to the upside, but should be lower than the high that we had. But here in this specific case right now, I can imagine that it gets pretty close, because that would also trap a lot of people, because they would think that we are then ready to break above and continue this whole upwards trend, and then we actually come one more time down to complete the C. And that will be slightly lower than A. And then full swing continuation. So this, in my opinion, because Bitcoin is so strong right now and there's so much demand and so much buy pressure on it, I think that will happen in a really, really small time window that this unfolds. So here on the 4-hourly chart, that could literally happen in a matter of like 2-3 days. That would be more than enough for Bitcoin to play out something like this. As you know, I have already placed here limit order on weeks. I'm gonna actually start adding here a little bit more, and I'm gonna do this here again live with you guys. And when I'm done with Bitcoin, we're gonna talk about altcoins, because also there I have already found some levels where they might pull back to when they come down. And then when we have talked about this, we can look at some coins that we maybe can trade live here on stream and make some money here together on stream. So you see here, I have my limit order here at $73,800. I'm gonna start adding now a little bit more from 57,500 and lower, and I'm gonna do this all the time here with 10%. So here, open long there, 74. Normally I don't need to, because I have like this bigger order, just $200 below that. I'm gonna do it anyway. So again, 10% there. And remember, last time, by clustering my limit orders, this is exactly how I caught most of these moves, guys, and made so much money on that. Oh, I still have a limit order all the way down there. I did not even see that. Here, see that level? I'm moving here. So let's move that. Below $73,000, I will do every $500 actually. Just to make sure that I catch all of it. And at 72, I want to have another 25%. Actually, let's make it. How much money do I have still here? available. Okay, there, 30%, I think is what I'm gonna do there. Yeah, so I do here 30% and then I have still like 50K left. So now I have like $130,000 in limit orders here placed. So which is on leverage, I use 25x. So this is like basically $3 million worth of position size that I have laddered here now in orders. So and I have still basically 50,000 on the side, which is another $1.3 million approximately in position size that I can deploy if I need to. So here on the 1 hourly chart, you get a really clear picture why I don't trust this upswing right now here that we are seeing. And the reason for this is that here on the stochastic, we're already getting a sell signal. The RSI is pointing to the downside and the MACD is also showing weakness here. And the price action gets rejected from $78,000, basically $77,900. That level is acting as resistance. And remember what I said the other day, I said as long as this line is not breaking now, it will act as resistance and push price back to $74,000, $73,000 approximately. And as you can see, that level is holding and sending Bitcoin back to lower levels. So then the cat vomited again. Nice. Need to clean this later. Because the cleaning lady was yesterday here. I cannot wait until the cleaning lady comes again, that she cleans it. Oh, 2 times? Really? Why? Thank you. Now I have to clean twice. Okay, so here on the 1 hourly chart, remember what I said yesterday? I said, unless we're breaking this line, I would not look like for longs. I still don't look for longs based off what I just told you guys, what I see on the indicator side, you know? So that's why I think this break here is just to trap people over the weekend. And a third time, what did you eat? The cat is going around here and just vomiting everywhere. So that means the cat also doesn't like the price action. So yeah, so not getting into any long positions here because this looks like a trap to me. And here we did not take out any highs that we put in, you know, so that we would have at least had to take out here $78,800 that I would get here a little bit more bullish. And maybe would have thought about to open here a long position. So, but we are just forming here lower highs now on the 1 hourly chart. And unless this structure gets broken to the upside by taking out at least this high over here, there's no reason why you should get now into massive long positions. You rather want to wait until the real downwards move has played out, which has at least to go into this order block down here. And then you look for longs all the way down there. And then on the way back up, you can add a little bit more. And then you're gonna get then the break of that trend line here. And that will be the real break that you're looking for, because then we get continuation. Here also on the 30-minute chart, we have broken down from the rising wedge pattern, but here, this underlying support cluster from 76,950 to 76,100 is what holds Bitcoin currently here in the current price range of $77,000 and $78,000 approximately. So, but I reckon, because this here, you can kind of see it, there's like a small rising wedge over here, and it starts to break down already. So if this breaks down, comes back down here and loses $76,000 for good with a breakdown, retest, and gets rejected from there, this is the target. This is where we go. And that's why I'm not closing or taking a loss on my short position right now, because there's still too much science for me right now written on the wall that we have to go a little bit lower. And that doesn't mean that I'm bearish, you know, so I'm extremely bullish right now, but short term, you need to look for what the chart is showing you. And the chart clearly shows we need one more slight correction so that that the market can breathe, that the price of Bitcoin can breathe, and then we are ready for another rocket ship to the upside. So now, also here on my stop loss levels, so finally there are some stop loss levels showing up again because they were all taken out on the way up. So here is one now at $79,800 for spot and leverage position. There's another one, a tiny one, at $78,970. And then to the downside, look at this here. Here's minus 17%, you know, to get here to longs. So they will never reach that, you know. So what rather happens is they just wait, market makers gonna wait that new positions coming in and stop loss is going to build like kind of here in these levels, you know, and then at one point they will come for them. So, but I have never seen that empty the chart with my indicator that I built, you know, with these stop losses, which is crazy. So here on Alpha X, we did have a trade, I think yesterday when I closed it. So let me have a look at this quick. Yeah, so I just gonna give you guys a fresh screenshot. I forgot to do this earlier. So let's have a look here. So this, so that I can show it to you. Oh, come on. There it is. So here, just as you see, I still keep everybody updated about everything, because this was literally this afternoon, you know. So when I said here, okay, live stream, and the day before, I want everybody also here in the channel, so like, hey, if we break out of that rising wedge, we will keep going down, you know. So if you want to be part of the channel and get access to it, there are links in the description. Just follow the instructions and then you can get access to everything, but you need an Alpha X account for that. So when we look at liquidity, where the liquidity heat map is currently at, let me refresh that again. So I have here only the last 3 days, because that's where we built most of the liquidity that's currently in the market. So you can clearly see we could reach here $78,228, because here is some concentration just above the price all the way up there. But then it kind of stops here. There's like a small pocket, you know, so, and then it is again basically from 79 and higher. So, but look what is below us. Below us is so much more liquidity right now than above us that has built up over the last 3 days. And that just shows you that here you should not rule out $72,000, like $500, $73,000 as a target right now for market makers to grab liquidity before they send it higher. You know, so, and that would of course cause a little bit of panic in the market, not insane, but it will definitely spook some people and create a small long squeeze, you know, so where you're going to see again a quick cascade to the downside with potentially bearish engulfing or something like that. Then also here on the liquidation levels, so much over leveraged liquidity currently sitting below us. Again, weekend makes people bored and then they make stupid decisions, you know, like here 100x with that white dotted line. All these white lines are 100x levels, you know. Here the dotted green lines are 50x. Here there's all high over leveraged liquidity from the weekend. And then let me actually include this here and then a little bit higher. So here, yeah, I think based on the liquidation levels, $73,000 might be the lowest that we're gonna see here. So, but here only to take out the over leveraged liquidity, if I would just go here what built up over the weekend, that shows you already here at least $75,000. And I think then the same will happen what happened on the way up, where we had also these high over leveraged positions, and then like the 25x levels a little bit higher than that. And I was first assuming that we only take the high leverage liquidity and we'll leave the 25x for a little bit longer, and we straight went for it, you know. So, and I have the feeling they're gonna do the same thing here too, where they go straight for this whole cluster here that's in that red box. You know, we reached 75 and I just keep pushing it all the way down to like 73, and then we are ready to go back up and take out the liquidity that's currently building up above us on the liquidation levels here all the way up to like $81,000. So now, should we talk about some altcoins, guys? I was actually really pissed again today when I looked at Zcash, because I saw it today when I drew this at like $802, and then it was $798, and I was like, I don't know if I want to long this, you know. Bitcoin, I'm not so sure, you know. So I was like, Bitcoin looks a little bit shaky, you know, it can turn any moment. If it turns, this will turn with it, but it was holding up quite well over the whole day, you know, while Bitcoin was still like kind of a little bit choppy, going down, going up. And I was like, I think I should not do it. So then I went to cinema, you know, watch like a great movie really quickly, and then I go on the way back and I look at Zcash, and I was like, what the heck happened here again, you know? So it just went higher, you know. So, but I believe, regardless how high it goes now, until Bitcoin finally pulls back, we're gonna see a pullback before it reaches $1,000. And this here is like the 0.382 level on the Fibonacci retracement levels from the current high, swing high to swing low, sitting here around $700. So it would be a 20% drop. So if Bitcoin goes down 5-6%, this is highly likely to be happening, that we come here down to like 730 to like $676, somewhere in that range. And that's where I want to open a long position for Zcash. I wait until then, you know, so if it goes higher and I need to adjust the Fibonacci retracement level because we just went way higher, then I'm gonna do that, you know. So but it will be at some point ending up here in a box like that. So the question is, where does it top out? You know, when we know where it's gonna top out, which could be somewhere here, $900, $950, just close to 1,000, just scratching on it, then reversing, then it will land here at like 800, 750, something like that, you know. So then I just adjust the box and gonna place my orders there, you know, because it's still like a 25% more or less from like $1,000. And when it then turns around and goes past $1,000, I made at least like, I don't know, 10x leverage, 250% on that trade, you know. And you saw now how quick that happened. I warned you about this when we were here at like 500, no, it was 630 where we were. Said, hey, when we break out of that pennant here at $630, this will move really quickly to like $800, $900, $1,000. Literally 2.5 days later, we're almost at $900. Really quick. So then I have some other coins that are marked out. Just need to find them now. Here, Coty, also one that's currently exploding. That was an hourly chart. So here you see why I would not take a trade right now. So this pennant that it's forming here on the 1 hourly chart might get invalidated, because we're sitting exactly at the bottom of this right now. And if this breaks down, it can make a fake out to the downside, come back and then go higher, but it would be technically invalidated when this happens. So but this is still a coin that you should keep your eyes on, because the downward sloping trend line is the most important thing that you need to watch here for Coty. When this breaks, then I think here 1 cent, 5, 6, 7 might be the imminent next target for it. So in that, if it's like 1.5, it's like a 26.6% move. If it goes to 1.6, it's 35%. So in the bull market, Coty behaves in this whole last year basically like Phantom did in like 2021. So then that's why you should really have your eyes on it. And why does Coty does that? Because it has now a privacy layer that it did not have before. So and that was the reason why initially a couple months back I had like, I think a 100-200% move in like 2 days. Then Injective, also something that I would not neglect right now. So here it broke because Bitcoin pumped above that trend line. It's just that trend line, yeah. But here I warn you, I think that it will come back one more time to that trend line and then goes to the upside. So and here that trend line here is currently at like slightly below $5. So that's just a 3% move to the downside that you're looking for. And that's where I would then have my limit order for the continuation to the upside. So when I look at targets, you don't need a crazy high targets for this, but I just want to show you how important that trend line is. Look here from where this trend line is coming. It's coming a long way. And why I think that we are not now already breaking it. Here, September, almost a year-old downwards trend line, resistance trend line. So I don't think here, now on this first proper breakout, that this is gonna hold. I think we're gonna come back here to the EMA ribbon, which will be like in a couple of hours, like at $4.72, $4.80, so pretty close to slightly below $5. And then from there, you get like the next proper breakout to the upside. So in terms of targets, if I would trade midterm, I would target $6. So basically a 22-25% move. Could take a week to see that happening, but could also go much faster, because in the last bull run it was just, yeah, it just kept going like crazy, you know. So if I want just to scalp it, then like an 8-9% move here, $5.50, what I would be looking for, you know. That can be like a day or two, maybe 3, when after we get in down here in that area. Let me look here, the next one that I had. So near also something that you should clearly have your eyes on. So here currently we are holding in that former resistance area pretty well, from $1.85 to $2.10. And if we come back down here to the downward sloping trend line, also here, really important trend line that we just broke, and to the bottom of it to $1.85, 87, kind of that range, I would start building a position from there. And then you can add a last time to that position at $2.10 when you break above this, because afterwards it will send really quickly to $3. And NIA was like $8 something in the last bull market. So also there, it can go really, really quickly, much, much higher. So, but short term, that's like the first target that I have. That is from that bottom level here, a 63% move. And I expect this to be happening over like a 10-day period once we break above $2.10. You know, so it can happen really quickly. It can also take a couple of days, you know, but I give it like 10 days, you know, 10 days from breaking $2.10 to get all the way up there. Ethereum, another one that we can look at. So it's holding really good above $2,400 actually. And that is surprising a little bit. I think when Bitcoin comes down to like $73,000, $74,000, it will retest 2,300, 2,250. And then from here, get a spring to the upside in direction here of that resistance of 2,700 to $2,840 approximately. So I had a couple more. Oh yeah, then Solana. Here's my drawing gone. Too bad. Okay, we're gonna redo it then. So let's go here to a daily chart. Also here you see why this might not go straight to $100 right now. Even though we did here the other day, but I mean like a proper candle close above this. So here, there's this resistance level and then all the way down here. So it's trying to hold on by dear life to here $95.10, but this looks so toppy that it might get a rejection here by, over the next couple of days. So where's this? Okay, here, there. And then we'll come back down here to like at least $90, I think even lower than that. I think here like $87, $88. And if it goes really crazy, it goes back into like 84, 80, yeah, basically $84. So this is again here the next zone where I also look to add and to build new Solana positions that are gonna take then, so at least for me personally, you know, I'm gonna hold then these positions for a couple of months. I'm not looking at closing these positions that on that specific pullback to close them like after a week or two, you know. So maybe I do this on another trading account, but like on my main account where I'm gonna trade, I'm gonna hold them for a couple of months because I think that we're not gonna see these levels for a really, really long time afterwards again, once we're moving away from there. And therefore, I just don't want to lose these entries and then basically keep chasing new entries. You know, I rather have a really good entry and keep that for a couple of months and it will print, and I have another account where I can do short-term stuff, you know, and you should do the same. And then on top of that, I still have all the spot holdings that I have, you know. So, and I think that is like, at least for me, that's the personal, for me personally, it's the best approach over all these years that I'm doing that, and actually also for the people that learned directly from me and all the people that took the mentorship from me. Then Hype also looks really, really toppy here with a new all-time high at $82.60 basically. Let me see, who is that? I have to move this to the other side because this gets annoying. So okay. And also here the current candle just shows you there is potentially an evening star pattern forming. If tomorrow here candle goes down, reversal, then this will most likely coincide with Bitcoin going down. And the level here on daily, that would be looking at first major level here, $68. So which is like it's like a 10, 13, 14% move to the downside. Yeah, almost 14%. Was pretty close with my math, just in my head. So, and I think this is not like a crazy move to pull back 14% from a new all-time high, when initially, if we take it here from that low, we pumped here 61% in like 3 weeks. You know, to get here one like a third of that move, not even a third, a fourth of that move as a pullback before it continues and goes past $100 or close to it, I think that is not like too crazy, you know, that we could see something like this here. So there's of course another level here, because it's like always for these things like kind of like a zone. I want to pull this a little bit higher here. So it's like here 71 to 68 kind of, that is the level. So but I think I would personally start buying here around 72.30, but just a little bit, you know, like 10% of what I want to build the position with, and then when we fall below 71, that's where I go more aggressive in that area here before it gonna sense then much higher. So this, like, I think all the coins that I looked earlier through for today. So if you have other coins, I can look through them and see where they're gonna go. And thank you so much, guys. Remember what I said last time, when we get steady to 100 people consistently being here on the stream, I go back to do every day a stream and a video. So I'm gonna try to do this tomorrow. I will not be able to do this on Thursday because I have to travel, but otherwise I really try to go back to that, because we did this last year around this time, you know. So I think from May something onwards I did this when the market turned bullish. So I'm gonna try to do this again. So and yeah, I wait a little bit because yeah, delay in the chat. In the meantime, I'm gonna clean quickly my nose here, so you don't need to see this, guys. So. Whoop, so there we are again. Let's see. No, I don't think so. That makes a lot of sense to look at the correlation, you know. So what I would rather do is find some altcoins that are really strong, you know, strong altcoins that you also know are kind of like trending and making new highs already. You know, these are the coins that you want to be in. You know, Hype is one of them. Solana, I think, can manage to make a new all-time high this cycle again. Ethereum will be also one. And then like all the other coins, you know, what you definitely should not look at is like all the dinosaur coins from 2021, like the majority of them, you know, because they did not even make a new all-time high in the last bull run. You know, why would you try to chase these altcoins that failed already last run to make a new all-time high? You know, so you have to look at coins that are running right now and made already a new all-time high or are really close to it. Like, for example, Zcash, you know, Hyperliquid. Like I said, Solana, Ethereum are the exception. I think they still can manage. Also Near, you know, and then like coins that did last cycle all-time highs, like Injective, Near. I think Coty was, no, Coty had like a crazy all-time high at one point, but also still did well. What else did we have? MNT actually is also something that I would have a look at, because that was at some point last cycle like $3, I think. Like, let's go back here to like a weekly chart. I think it was $3. So, and that is actually a project heavily backed by BYBIT, you know, and you know how that works with like these cartel coins. You know, Binance has like their coins, and BYBIT has like also their coins. Okay, this was like $2.86, I think, because here's like a massive downward sloping trend line, and we are soon trying to break. So. Yeah, we are basically on the verge of breaking this. I think this will go really quickly back to like $1 at least, you know, when it goes up here, because there's also major resistance. And then here in this run, it will go past that all-time high here, because it is a BYBIT coin. They're gonna push it higher, you know, they're gonna push it past $2.86, maybe to $4, maybe $5. You know, if you buy it now, it's like an 8 to 10x on spot, you know, alone to have that coin, you know. So, and these are like other coins that I look at. You know, you want to look, I have mentioned this before, you want to look at now projects and protocols that generate real revenue, you know, and can even survive if the coin does not well, you know, in the bear market, because they have like other revenue sources to keep going with their business, you know. So, and these are the projects that will do really, really, really well this cycle, because again, people get smarter, you know, every single cycle. And this cycle, what people look at is this project actually making money without the token? And then the token is just like speculative purposes and adding value to the ecosystem, but it's not like basically the whole ecosystem, you know, which was like for many other coins before the case. So and that's what I'm looking at. Link, yeah, I think Link will also do well. I think they have still something big coming up with the US government. I think it's not done yet. I have seen there's something. Let me see what's going on there. So why do people like to write me when I'm like live on stream and then like important stuff, you know? Okay. So I'm gonna check that all later out. So yeah, let's see. H bar. So XRP, maybe XRP will. I'm not sure. Let's see. So XRP was 350 last year. Was that the all-time? Yeah, that was the all-time high. So XRP also, I think, will put a new all-time high in. So, but now, see, I got rejected from like a big resistance area, all the way from like $1.80 to here like $1.57, and we are below that. You know, so once it breaks through that area, it will go back to $2.50. You know, and I think this will also break here that $3.66 all-time high here eventually at some point. Then H bar, I'm personally not a huge fan of H bar. So let's see what H bar looks similar to XRP, to be honest. Pretty similar, but it's still here like in that bear market reaccumulation zone, you know. So because here previous bear market, that area, and we are like exactly back in that area here. So what you want to see is a breakout out of that before we get a massive continuation, you know. And the first target would be like 13 cents, 2.6, what you see here, you know. So that's like, it's like a 35% move from the top side here. Yeah, 32% move to the upside. Lit, oh, lit, I did not look a long time. Let's see. Lighter, I'm not so sure if that. Oh wow. Okay, I've said nothing. You know, I did not know that this is going so crazy right now on the weekly chart, because it did for a long time, not a lot. And what I mean by that is when I looked at this, it was somewhere here. You know, you see it. There was like for a long time in that box, and I think I looked the last time at this, like, kind of here. So that's, and I saw already like, okay, this might chop you around for a while before it gets interesting. So here the only problem that I have with this right now is here's a rising wedge forming. So eventually this will also come down, even though it puts a new all-time high right now. I think it's like a new all-time high, right? I think it never went higher than $3.35. Yeah, so eventually this will break down and come back here to like $2.74 for now. So if I would be looking at an entry level for lighter, then here like $2.70, here $2.74 to like $2.61. From there I would try to long this. So that will also do pretty well in this cycle. If that's performing like this right now, it will do really well. What do you mean with Punkt? Point? What is that? Is that a coin? Is that not a coin? I have no idea what this is. So let me actually see if we can maybe find something that we can trade right now. But I want to have a quick look at Bitcoin again. So you see here Bitcoin again pulling back a little bit. So, and then I forgot something to show you guys here, why I'm so short-term a little bit bearish on Bitcoin because the higher time frames, guys, you know. So, and also why Bitcoin actually moved up. I forgot this properly to show you guys. So the whole move here back to the upside that we experience right now is coming from here, from the 4-hourly chart, because the 4-hourly chart here on the stochastic was heavily overextended for like a bull case, and the RSI was going down, you know, and then also here saw a small uptick, but the MACD remained bearish. And that told me that this whole move here to the upside is just a bull trap, you know, so it's a quick move to that resistance here and then back down. And then we will continue. And you see this also here already, like the way that the stochastic is trying to come up here is looking really, really bearish. You know, if you have a little bit experience in trading and you see this on the upside or to the downside here on that scale, this is never good, you know, when it acts like this. Because what it basically does is here a small dead cat bounce, you know, where it comes a little bit up and then makes here this curvature and comes back down, you know, and you see this in the price then happening too in that fashion, you know. And you also see this here on the RSI. The RSI is still pointing down, you know, wants to cool down. The MACD is still bearish, you know, here the trend line from the signal line, they are like creating a bigger gap between each other. So there's still more downside to come, regardless of that small pump here that we saw. Because here the higher time frames, the 12-hourly chart, you know, so here that green 12-hourly candle that we put in at the daily close looked bullish, but here the current 12-hourly candle tells us we are still like way too overbought here, you know, and that you see this also reflected again. Stochastic RSI also still overbought, MACD losing momentum, you know, we print here lighter green candles until this will turn red. So, and therefore this has to come down. It will maybe be gradually, you know, that it will not like rinse people too quickly, but I still think at some point you're gonna see here one quick flash crash, the same kind of what we saw yesterday around the daily close of today. And then here also on the daily, that indecision candle is never a good sign. And then tomorrow could be the candle that we are waiting for, where we come a little bit lower, and then you get here a staircase down. Could be slow, could be quick, you know. So if it's slow, it could also be slow like this, you know, really slow, and then back up, you know, quick. But I think it will be quick. I think it will be quick because the market is so bullish. So I forgot to show you this, guys, earlier. And here on the daily, the MACD did not even turn around, you know, to be here in lighter green candles. So this still needs to happen. And in these lighter green candles on the daily is where that whole move will play out, because what happens afterwards is the MACD will get continuation. You know, it will have like 2-3 lighter green candles, will not turn red, and then it will start printing like dark green candles again, and then turns around and gets continuation. So now that I've shown you guys this, let's see. So I was here on the 1-hourly chart. So let's see, so Bitcoin dominance, oh, below 59, that's good. So, but maybe let's have a look here. Oh, that was a near chart. If we can find something that we can trade right now. But everything is already like going absolutely bananas here. So let's see, maybe Doge. So a 12-hourly chart. Oh, here in the 15-minute, that looks not too shabby. So let's see. 30-minute. No, that would head lower first. Yeah, like if I would be looking at Doge right now, you know, so and I would be like a big bear and would like to short everything on pullbacks, I would short this right now, you know. So, but I'm not, you know, I like to take longs every single day, all day, you know. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of taking shorts here, but it would be actually a good short to take here if you like to short, you know. So this is a good moment to take a short here on Doge, because this might go back here to 8.5 cents. So it's just like an 8% move, I think. Yeah, almost 7%. So high pulling back. Oh, a link, something that we forgot earlier. You see already also rolling over. I don't think that will come all the way back down. But let's see. This is like 15% to the EMA ribbon. Yeah, almost exactly 15%. 15% from here. I'm not so sure if that will pull back 15%. But I think I just look on the daily. Here, this order block, this is where it comes down to. This is where I would open new positions for Link. From like $10.66 to $10.07. So there's like a 5% spread, you know, so therefore I would also spread my limit orders accordingly in that range. So let's see, do we have anything else? You know, I normally don't like to trade coins that have pumped like this, but sometimes you can get like another 2-3% out of these because they are just pushing so strong here, you know. So AVE on the 50 minutes looks really, really good to actually take a long here, just to squeeze like 1% out of that, you know, not more. 30 minutes going down. Ooh, this is awesome. But 4 hourly looks good. Yeah, so if I would ignore basically the 30 and the 1 hourly, let's see what I like on the 5-minute chart. How does it look here? I think you can squeeze a % or 2 out of that. Now it's the question, do I want to do that? Because this is like one of the coins that I went through now that actually looks not that bad, you know, so, and that I might be really, really interested in doing this with. So yeah, you see that it moved like a half percent, you know, so while I was saying this here, which is crazy. So now the question is, do we still want to try and chase this a little bit while it's going here to the upside? How's the 1-minute chart looking on this? Yeah, no, this, I'm not sure. I think it's gonna go. It almost moved like a % since I spoke about this, you know. So and that's like the problem, you know. So now it moved already a % and makes me less, you know. It makes me want less to chase it here, you know. We should have entered at the moment that I saw that it's gonna move, you know, because here to break it this, oh, that's actually not a 2%. Yeah, the problem is I need to, I don't want to go like too heavy into this. No, I will not go to 58. Why should it go now to 58? You know, just because there's like the 4-year cycle bottom, supposedly, you know, it should be down there. I don't see us going down there, you know, 58. There's no reason why we should go down there. So yeah, I think I want to try it, you know. So, and I want to do it with the challenge account. So, but if we're losing this, then it will break the streak that we have, you know. So it will, for the first time in 2 months almost, break our winning streak if this goes wrong. So, but I hope that I will be right about this, because I really don't want to break that winning streak that we have on this. So let me actually see if we can trade AVE here. Yeah, we can. But like I said, I want to do this with a lot of money to actually make money on this. So I will use almost the whole account, because I want to make here, let's see, 140, I need to see here, 140, 142, oh wow, 142 would be crazy. 140, yeah, so I want like to make $300 on this. So where's my liquidation price with this? If I do this, normally I can see this. Oh, there are 130. Okay, 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 let's try. Let's try. So, but I will also set a stop loss. So I'm willing to lose here like $100 on this. No, here, add stop loss, 10%. No. 4. Where are we now? Ooh, we're basically already there. Fuck. Okay, I give it a little bit more room. Okay, you know what? I'm willing to risk 10% on this. So either I make here $230 on it or I lose $200. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, come on. Yeah, it's struggling because it wants to break past $140. That's the issue with it right now. Ah, there we start making money. And then it turns around again. Ah. Come on, break it. Stupid nose guys. Come on, just do it. The market should be nice to us today, you know, because we have a drink, you know, it's Sunday. Sunday is fun day. Should let us make just a little bit of money here. You know, it's not like a crazy amount that we're looking for. Let me actually know in the chat who took the trade with me together. I would like to know who of you guys took the trade too right now. Yeah, come on. There was already, almost. It's almost there. See, that's why it's always pulling back, because the $140 mark. Come on. I think on the other exchange it went already through it. Because, close. It's like also a couple cents away. Hey. So what we're looking at here. Oh wow, already. That pulls back again. Come on, just push through it. Also, let me know, guys. Do you think it will get past 140? Okay, that did already. But it needs to keep going. Come on. So if it goes now back over 140 and stays there, then I will set a stop loss at 139.80. Just to take $50, you know, like worst case. Oh, come on. No, don't do this now to me. Oh, yeah, I think we're gonna lose here. Now, there's a sharp pullback. And you know the funny thing? If it does, then it will go up afterwards. I hope that it was like that one small pullback that the coin sometimes need before it goes past like a big resistance like that when it touched it one time. Come on, just do it. Blast through it. Come on. Oh, it was so close again. Yeah, it's like 99, you know. It's a really big resistance to get through it. Oh, there we go. I hate that I cannot properly see this. Come on, go like to 140.10. I can raise my stop loss. You know what? I just. Where are we at now? That stop loss $11. So it might be position covering. Oh, nah. Yeah, of course. Of course. Okay. I did not make money. I did not lose money. It's fine. You know, it's fine. So it was a risky trade, you know. Maybe the next one. So you see why I like to stick to Bitcoin. It's way easier to trade than like coins like that are already moving like this, and make it also risky, you know. At least we did not broke our streak, you know, so, and I could bank here a small win anyway, even though it was like maybe like $2 or something, you know, it was just position covering. So, okay, let's see if we find something else. This is just, it might go higher, you know, so, but that was quite risky here. Should have done this with XPL because it was 14% when I saw it. Let's see, Lido. They look, like on 15 minutes, all these coins that are moving, they look almost the same. All of them. Yeah. I think they're like on like that last push, you know, to the upside before they all turn around and Bitcoin takes them with them down. Because I saw already Bitcoin struggling to hold $77,000 right now. So Zcash also coming to EMA ribbon right now, 15 minute. See here, 4 hourly. Yeah, I think that is here short-term top, 877. Yeah, I think that's it for Zcash. Now it's time to come back down. Let's see here, Arweave. How's this on 12 hourly? Oh wow, Arweave might be one of the coins that might keep going here after Bitcoin pulled back. You know, that might be one of the first movers. How do I know that? Because the 12 hourly is looking quite bullish here. And I think the 4 hourly, yeah, the 4 hourly too. So that might keep going while Bitcoin, after Bitcoin corrected, you know. I think that we'll see a small pullback and go straight back up. So that is something that you should put on your list for the pullback. And this might, what is this, 5%? Yeah, might pull back like here 6% back to the EMA ribbon. But the EMA ribbon is like a moving target. So expect, yeah, you have to look where the EMA ribbon is on the 4 hourly. You know, wherever the top side of this is, that's where it's gonna pull back to on the 4 hourly chart when Bitcoin drops. Yeah, so I'm not mad that I got out of this. So yeah, Arweave. Let's see what else. Oh, Uniswap also a good one that you should have on your list because they keep burning and buying back tokens to also create deflation, and they're actually making money, you know, on the protocol. I can have a quick look at paper in a second. So here with Uniswap, 4 hourly chart also looks like that it wants to keep going. So it's nowhere near the all-time high, but it looks also really bullish, at least on 4 hourly chart. Let's see the other time frames. Yeah, but also it has to come down first. So look at this here again. Area that I'm looking at, previous resistance that we broke, should act as support on the way down. And it will line up with the EMA ribbon in like 2-3 days. So the EMA ribbon will be, I think by Tuesday, it will be somewhere up here. So it's now like it's $3.80. Yeah, if that EMA ribbon moves like 10 cents per day up, then it will line up here with that zone. You know, and then when price comes down, it can go a little bit below that, but it will be brief, you know, and then it will keep going higher, because Uniswap is also one of the really strong coins in that whole run right now. Because look from where it basically sent, you know, here from $3.20 to $4.55, that was like almost a 50% move, you know, here 45% in like the last 5 days. And it is a revenue generating protocol, you know. So let me have a look at Pepper. I never look at Pepper, so I've by default no chart where I draw on for Pepper, but I should actually. Come on, don't tell me. Ah, here, there. Ah, there's spot. Okay, I think for leverage it's like 1,000 Pepper, right? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, looks toppy to me. You know, also here running into this resistance block here that you see basically everywhere. You know, every coin is somewhat like a resistance block like this facing, and that looks pretty similar to the one for Bitcoin, you know. So now what you want to look at, let's say this is the top up here. Then where's the retracement level? So here it bounced already from the 0.382 level, but because Pepper can be highly volatile, because it is a meme coin in the end, you know, so I think golden ratio. So like a 30% move down, maybe like a 50% move from the high. So, and that should be a little bit kind of like here, like 3.5, you know, like 20, let it be 18 to 20, 22% what I expect this to pull back here. So, and there's also like zones, you know, when I draw here again. Oh, no, not this. If I draw here again a box, here, that area, that's where it's going to land. That's where I'm going to see it going down to. That's so that's pretty close to the golden ratio. And also around these levels is where you want to look to build positions. You know, if you, especially when you leverage trade, you know, this is the area where you want to look at to build a position or to add to your position when you have already one. You know, so unless that resistance area gets broken, it will come down there first, because the higher time frames still, they are so overextended. You know, 12 hourly, daily, 4 hourly looks good, you know, but then again, the 1 hourly looks like it wants to turn around. 30 minutes already going down. 15 minutes looks like this will break down soon. So the 4 hourly is right now the chart across the board that's like tricking everybody that we are going higher, you know, because 12 hourly and the daily technically can be extended for like a really long time, and that's why you look on shorter time frames, you know, but the 4 hourly is definitely lying here right now to you across the board. So let's see here. What? Oh, actually, there's like what is it again? SPX. What is this? XPX 9,000, 5,000 or something? This meme coin. SPX 9,000. What is that? Yeah, the SPX 9,000, right? On 69. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. 69,000. I knew there was like an SPX token, but is this, no, this is not the leveraged one. There was one on leverage. USDT. Was there not one on leverage with this? I forgot how, what SP, no, it was not SpaceX. I forgot what the name of that one is, because I don't trade meme coins that much, but I was like, one, maybe I find it if I look quick through BYBIT. Let's have a look there. Coins. Here, innovation, there, meme. Let's see. Oh no, it is directly SPX, which is a meme coin. Okay, I found it was, I thought it's like SPX something with numbers. Yeah, so it's just SPX. So that one is also going crazy, you know. But also here, oh, that looks different. This might keep going. So also here you see again, same area here, this bearish order block from here, you know, that's the bearish order block, resistance now, but it tries to break through it. If that goes through it, it will keep sending. So there's not a lot. If that goes up, like I would say like this is like 3-4%, it's like 5%. So if that goes here up another 5% to like 50 cents and it goes above that, this might go straight to like 58, 60 cents. So like a 16, 20% move in like a day when it gets above that. Might be also something that I should write on my own list for like quick daily trades, you know, for a quick flip. See on the 4-hourly how that looks. Crazy. Even the lower time frames are looking good here. Yeah, that is crazy. Let's see, 5%. Yeah, they might even do it today just to touch it, you know, the 50-cent level, and then pull back from there before it then turns around and goes higher. So guys, I think I'm gonna call it soon here for the stream. But not yet, not yet. So if you still want me to look at other coins, let me know. I can still do like 3, 4, maybe 5 other coins. Just drop them in the chat. And again, thank you for everybody that was here or is still on the stream. I really appreciate that. Because the numbers are going up, you know, so I like when numbers go up. So. I can do again quick Solana. Yeah. Yeah, so I set this, oh wait, this is, I should do this here on this one. I might have no, yeah, so here's like a different drawing on this. So here, Solana, I still expect this to come down, you know, with Bitcoin together. I don't see this going past $100 in the imminent short term. You know, I see here 0.681 level as the pullback zone where it comes down to. Let me see. What was that? Huh? So, GTO. Okay, you can also look at GTO. So, like I said earlier, it looks toppy to me because here, you can go to any chart, you know, you can draw this yourself. It's really easy. You just take here the recent 2 tops and then look where this area last got here a small bounce, you know, and then broke down from there. So that is your resistance that you need to watch. You know, that's why you don't want to long this right now unless it breaks above this. And this is here like $98.58 right now. So that's why I'm saying you will not get a candle close above this, a proper candle close above this right now, you know, with like 2, basically 3 rejections in the last 36 hours. Plus, even if the current candle scratches here on the bottom again, will again get rejected and not push past it and go above $100, you know. So this is just trapping late longers, you know, that FOMO in because they see the prices above $90 again, and then they send it back down, you know, to liquidate, take the liquidity from them, and then reverse it back to the upside. And you want to be on the right end of that trade and be patient, as I always say, and get in down here, you know. So it might take another 3-4 days until it's happening, but eventually it's going to happen, you know, because the indicators are all cooked, you know, through the board, all overcooked. They have to come down to cool down, and for that the price needs to come down too. So I'm gonna do a quick GTO and then ENA. GTO. GTO might look different. Let's see. Also still needs to come down a little bit. But it in general it looks a little bit different. So, but I see here, I think I want to take away quick the EMA ribbon to get a better view on this. So I think like here, that area, maybe like this, yeah, this area, it has to come properly down, like a proper candle down into that area before I see this going higher. It might even fall below that. So this like here, 52, 55 cents. So that's like basically also like a 10, 12% move down before I see this breaking here, that resistance above, which is, where's this sitting? Here, 63 basically to 67 cents. So and then inner, so I'm gonna take this away again. Let's see. Oh wow, yeah, that also definitely needs to pull back, because it's also here big resistance that just tapped into, and you kind of can see already where we'll go back down to. It's like here. I think I can pull this a little bit lower. Yeah, like this. This is where I see it coming back down to. So here like 11 cents free, 13 cents 2. So there's also like, it's like a 20-30% move. Yeah, it's like 20, yeah, let it be 24. And the lower end would be like 34. Might not go that low, but at least here like 14 cents. You know, 14 cents with a wick a little bit below that, and then goes back up. Because here, yeah, same thing. You know, only for hourly putting in rising broadening wedge, 1 hourly going down, indicator. 15-minute look like it wants to roll over. So yeah, also not something that I would touch right now. So guys, I think I'm gonna cut here the stream. We were here now for almost 2 hours, really close to it. So I said 2 hours, but there's not really so much to talk about for today. So yeah, let's see how long I'm gonna do tomorrow. I think because I'm gonna do it now on a daily basis again, like I said, I will make it a little bit shorter, of course. You know, I think like maximum an hour when I gonna do the live stream, because I do also then later a video, you know, so, or the other way around. I will see tomorrow how I'm gonna feel about this, you know, what I do first, and then basically stick to it. But thank you so much for being here on the stream. I really appreciate that, for everybody that showed up. And don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then again tomorrow.